Welcome back to another episode of MoCoS9E2. On this week's episode, I'm going to be talking about what I did last week and preparations for some of the things I'm going to do in the future. So stay tuned. It's been a busy week, not the least of which was Tuesday. Tuesday was a crazy day for me because I had three things I had to do. Number one is that I have my cat. Well, it's not really my cat. It's a feral cat that lives outside. And she had a litter of kittens that we adopted last summer. Anyway, she got in heat, and I was desperate to have her fixed before she got pregnant. So I had to bring her to the vet on Tuesday morning. And of course, we had to capture her because she's feral. So we had to set a trap, and which we did. We caught her about 5:30 in the morning. And then after I had my coffee and was ready to drive, I drove to Ross the boss's house and picked him up to go to New Jersey. And we were going to have a dictator's practice at Keith Roth's house in New Jersey. He's got a furnished basement where he's got a whole bunch of gear. You know, maybe not quite as much as I have here, but it's pretty good. Maybe I'll put a little clip from that practice session that I did, not on Tuesday, because Tuesday I was just too blown out to do a video. So I just recorded the audio. Sounded good. We learned a famous Dictators album from start to finish, every song, and that was our accomplishment on Tuesday. We also went over some of the old songs that we've been playing live because we got some gigs coming up at the end of the month. So now, here I am at my studio. I've moved things around. I've moved this bookcase closer here. It actually makes a better sound in the room. And we have to have the cat in here because I think she's under the couch. Anyway, she can't go outside for 3 days. So, being a feral cat and being inside the house for 3 days is probably, like she probably feels like it's the end of her world. That she's been condemned to hell. But anyway, so she's in here. We got the litter box. She's using the litter box. Oh my God. I guess it's just something cats do. She's not trained to do it, but she does it. And we got food out here for her, but she's not hungry. And this is Friday, so it's 3 days she hasn't really eaten. She's been, she's upset, and I don't blame her. But anyway, during the course of the week, I worked on the Michael Moorcock record, the last one of the Dancers at the End of Time trilogy, which is now a 4-record set. So it's not quite a trilogy, but the last chapter was like 26 chapters, so we had to split it up into 2. And who knows, maybe someday it'll all be available with the graphic novel and all of that. So I came to know Michael Moorcock through Eric Bloom. I was reading, I'm a big comic book fan, as you probably know from last year. I talked about all the comic books that I have in my comic book collection, and still read comic books from time to time. But I saw a comic book called The Legend of the Black Blade, and it starred this Elric character. It was a Japanese comic. It was black and white, which is, I love black and white comics. I don't know why, I just do. And Eric Bloom saw me reading it and said, "Oh my God, that's Michael Moorcock." I'm like, "No, it isn't. It's this Japanese guy." And he said, "No, the story was written by Michael Moorcock." I'm like, "Oh." And then of course he started writing to Michael Moorcock, did some deep diving, and saw that he worked with Hawkwind, and then he got Mike to write some lyrics for us. So we're right down to the end of the wire with this. We're trying to get it done by the end of February. I have 2 songs that all they need is guitar. And then I have another song it's the last song. And I tried to get Richie Castellano to help me on it, but he's pretty busy. So he may not be able to get involved. And that's okay, because I'm just forging ahead with the song right now. I came up with a very good original idea, I think, but then I started changing it around, and then realizing, I can change it even more. So it's evolving into a pretty cool song. I want it to be like the spectacular ending that this story deserves. So anyway, let's see what else. Yesterday I got a new shelf. I had a shelf for percussion stuff, and it was way too small. So I ended up having percussion all over the house. I still have a bunch of stuff all over the house, but this is stuff that I could use all the time. So here we have an African drum made in Africa with actual cowhide. Then we have a rain drum that has little BBs inside that makes the sound of the ocean. Then I have a bunch of shakers. And of course, this is my cowbell shelf, which is just a few of my cowbells. Let's see. Here's one for the New York Marathon. That's funny. And then here's one for the Long Island Music Hall of Fame, Long Island Music and Entertainment Hall of Fame that I got many years ago. And I'm going to be appearing there this weekend, or next weekend rather. And then I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cowbells, 9 cowbells, and then a lens drum and a Rico. So those are kind of cowbell inspired instruments. Then I have my tambourine and jingle bell shelf. Then I have my Latin percussion. We got some couple guiros and vibroslap. And then I've got the miscellaneous keyboard kind of stuff. So got a melodica and a cheap accordion over there. So, well, yeah, there's my tempo bells. And the gong, I had to take it apart for a while because, actually you use the stand as part of the mounting for this curtain across there. So we have like a little room in the back for privacy for sleeping and other stuff. So, yep, Fabienne is coming back next week to work on her record, so that's going to start. And of course I have my Imaginos band rehearsal is tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. Here I created some ads for the 2 gigs that I'm playing with my band on March 8th and March 28th. And one is in New Hope, Pennsylvania on the 28th, and the March 8th is the Calet Theater in Pulaski, New York. So hopefully, that's March 8th, so hopefully for those who are not from upstate New York, Pulaski is basically the place on Route 81 where you may or may not get through there. if it snows, because it gets a lot of snow, a lot of lake effect there. Not as much as Buffalo, but I'm used to going that route because it was on the way to Watertown, which is where where I was born and where my parents lived. Anyway, and of course I have Dictators gigs, 3 gigs in 2 weeks, so that should be fun. Woodstock, Teaneck, and Long Island. So we're going to be playing some of the new songs that we rehearsed this week, and that should be good. I think people will be very surprised and happy to hear some of these songs that we were playing. So, yeah, and then of course we have the cruise in May, but it's in a little while. So anyway, that's all I got for right now. So I'm signing off, and have a great week. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.